has been banned from the launch of Tony Blair's autobiography next month? The answer is all three.
You are watching Britain's brightest daytime show, and if you don't agree, quite frankly, come and sue me. I'll take you on, oh yes. Steve first, Natalie Pinkham and Adam Garcia are with me today. He'll have the rest of today's headlines for you in just under 10 minutes' time. But first, should we, the British taxpayers, foot the extra security bill for Tony Blair as he launches his autobiography next month? Right Stuff at 5.tv is the place. Have you got something to say on that? So, what do you reckon? Us taxpayers paying for the extra security to protect Tony Blair when he launches his autobiography next month. Security has been upped on the former Labour leader after thousands of anti-war protesters threatened to disrupt the book signing in London in September. Extra security costs are set to be around £250,000, but the former PM has already made £15 million since leaving Downing Street back in 2007 and has already received an advance of £4.6 million for his memoirs of his time at Number 10. It's called A Journey. Yeah. Brilliant. So, shouldn't he foot the bill for this? Political protocol states all former Prime Ministers are given security for life. For Blair, that already costs £250,000 a year. And that's fair, isn't it? He held a high-profile public position, which now leaves him vulnerable to attack. And we should protect our former statesmen, surely. But the question is, should we be shelling out for them to make money? Steve, what do you reckon?
Well, the thing is, you know, we know that ex-PMs and ex-presidents of America do come with a price tag after they've been in office. They don't just kind of go into pasture and especially not ones that have launched a pretty illegal war and are not particularly liked. I mean, people don't like, especially English people. The Americans aren't so bothered by if you're a person in power and then you kind of launch yourself on the speaking tour of the world and you're making millions. They quite like that. There's a respect. Whereas here, you're like, no, you're not going to make money out of this as well. I mean, the memoirs, well, you know, are we going to believe anything that's written in the memoirs? I think it's extraordinary. I mean, there's a lot of curiosity about
What are we going to find out about it? I mean, presumably the most intriguing things for a lot of people about the lead-up to the war, and yet he's been at the Chilcot inquiry. Didn't really get anything out of that.
I guess it'd be more of a personal account as to how he
I like me eggs scrambled, that kind of stuff. You know? I like orange juice.
Well, I think with addressing the question, you know, about having to pay for extra security at an event that is something that you want to do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Then I think you should pay for it, or with an agreement through the publishers. It shouldn't be a taxpayer's expense. But however, any time he does appear in public, he does have bodyguards anyway. So I don't know if this is an extra over and above what he would ordinarily be paying for them. So
shouldn't you just cap the cost of security? Just say, right, OK, this is your flat fee for security. Anything above and beyond that, you pay for yourself. As Steve says, this is a money-making venture. He's no longer a publicly elected figure.
But he did take... Natalie, he took very, very tough decisions on our behalf. I mean, you know, he said
against our will.
Well,
not on our behalf.
Well, he said that what he was doing was for the good of the country. He took very tough decisions. How many of us put in that position could make those decisions? Then, of course, because of the decisions that he made, which he believes was to keep us safe and to keep the world safe, he is now the target of people, quite unpleasant people, who would like to kill him.
And now he's coining it in as a result as well.
Well, you know,
it's a licence to print money.
But it's also a licence.
I think the audience aren't sitting on the fence really with this one. You should hear the lot of like, but
you know what? But that's the easy attitude to take immediately, isn't it? He's earned a lot of money, blah blah blah. But he was a prime minister for 10 years, and the difficult decisions that he made. Well, Adam, what do you think?
Well, I guess we have an understanding that there should be some protection of him, and there's been a precedent set, and so we can accept that. But I kind of have to agree with the rest of my panel here. It's when you're making money, when you're doing something for profit, I think we should, the English taxpayer should cover him when he's at home, for his family, for those sort of things. But when he's doing business, isn't that his business? Shouldn't he be paying for the things to make it like we would do? We run a business, I pay for these things, and I expect a profit back. So I think he should pay for any extra
It's a
security.
publicity appearance, effectively. It's a book signing.
If Salman Rushdie, who also has people who doesn't like what he writes, does his publisher have to pay for the security for him to launch a new book?
No, the taxpayer pays for that as well, I believe, or it certainly did for quite a few years. So, do you think we should pay for Tony's security while he's on his book tour? Email writestuff@5.tv. That's the place for your thoughts, and I'd love to hear some of them. And, Kirsty, what have people been saying about this?
OK, I've got loads of emails on this. The first one I have is from Michael, and he says, how outrageous. Why should we pay for his security? He's been out of office for over 3 years. He's a multimillionaire and can well afford to pay for security himself. Failing that, his publishers should pay it.
OK. All right. Wow, OK.
Controversial to that one, we have another one from Perry. I think that we as a nation should pay for Tony's security. We elected him as a Prime Minister, and before the whole war scandal, we would have happily paid for his security. But because we've shifted our views and the fact that he is making his own money, we are now starting to think otherwise.
Okay.
And then finally, one from Lee. I'm sure there are plenty of out-of-work soldiers who would love to become private security for Blair. Perhaps he could get a real idea of what they have suffered for in his name.
Very interesting point. Thank you, Kirsty.